So we have an exciting package from Dissent Games. Join us as we find out what exactly is in here.
Hi, I'm Libby, this is Julian. We are BoxedMeeples, and today, as Julian just said, we have a parcel that has come through to us from Dissent Games. So we're going to have a look at what's inside.
Now, if you've been following this channel, you know we're big fans of the work Dissent Games do. We've done a Kickstarter with them for Library Labyrinth, a fantastic tile placement game. We've looked at some cards, which they released last Christmas.
Yes.
Had a watch of that review, and hopefully there's some more of that in here. So what do we have in our package of joy?
Right, so there is another card, Snakes, Ladders and Jelly Beans. And it looks from here like you're going to be placing the little sort of jelly beans or sweets that you have here and having a little game with that. So that looks great for children.
As before, it's all the rules are on the back of the card and then card. So yeah, that's going to be fun to play.
Yeah. And this will be similar to the Christmas card style ones we had before, but this looks fantastic for sort of Mothering Sunday or any kind of other occasion, maybe not as child themed as that one, so nice to have that variety there. 2
cards.
And another Valentine is just around the corner. I think I got one very similar to this for you last year on the Kickstarter for the Valentine card. So we'll see if that's the same or a little bit different. Oh, there's another one here. It's got fish on it.
Oh, that's
great.
Nice.
Yeah. And obviously you can see here the sort of dice action and movement. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. I can see a little turtle and some starfish and things on the detailing here. So yeah, that's intriguing. I love the colours.
These are kind of like looks like a roll and write style game, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think the most of them are that kind of styling. I think, and this one's got some penguin pairs, little discs.
Pair of penguins.
The artwork on this, I'm absolutely loving. Yeah, I mean, everyone might get this for Christmas next year. Look at this, a little slide down and climb up, and the cute little penguin. So yeah, I'm really excited to have a closer look at that one.
That's good enough.
Oh, we have some crayons
so
that we can
do
our colouring. So that's brilliant, very helpful. Oh, and we've also got some, instead of just cards, there's some roll and colour games that are just, it looks like they're just in pads. Let's open this.
That's really great because in the past, you might have seen in the Christmas card one, we laminated the cards so we could keep playing them because we really enjoyed it. We didn't want to just play it once. So, oh, great. So that's a similar thing.
Yeah, so there's 3 different designs here. So this is sort of party balloons, sort of, like heart-shaped and normal balloon shape. Similar to the one that we said about maybe Mother's Day sort of card, that kind of design.
Yeah.
And this super cute lily pad and frog number here. So yeah, I think that'll be a very similar idea to the cards, but in a nice replayable pad. So that's fantastic. So it gives you the option, you know, are you going to gift it or are you just going to hoard it for yourself and play?
So these are roll and colour.
Yes,
I've seen.
roll and colour. Yeah.
So yeah.
So very helpful to have the crayons to go with. So let's dive in.
Yeah, let's give it a play. And see us in a minute, and we will tell you what we thought of all of these.
Gosh, the first thing I noticed since we covered the Christmas card option, which you may have seen, is what variety there is now. There really is a card for everyone, and there's different types of play. And we already thought that the Christmas card was a great card for everyone.
Yeah, the mechanisms of the roll and colour are largely the same. So it's really a case of choosing the theme you think is the most appropriate. So there's one for Valentine's Day, which is actually the only one that's...
Dueling game.
Yeah, it's the only one that's geared to actually being a direct two-player game. All the others can be played either solo or with a group, and we actually played it with 4, where you're competing to get the best score using the same dice roll, similar to how we suggested the 2-player mode would work in the Christmas card. But there are you can play all of the games with the exception of the Valentine's one solo. So and that's why I think the pads are so great, because then you're getting multiple versions of the same thing, and you can work on increasing your score. It does give us a suggested kind of maximum score on the back of the rules. So the closer you get to that, the more successful you've been. And the designs are really appealing. I mean, the balloons, ideal for kind of a birthday card for a child. As you said, the tulips would make a great Mother's Day card. And the Valentine's Day card is obviously there as well.
Yeah, and what I particularly like is there's a couple that are, I think, really geared into the children to bring them in and sort of get them active in playing with the cards. The snake ladders and jelly beans obviously is the first one that comes to mind, and I really like how it just adds that step up from a game that they probably already know, because you're able to use the jelly beans, or when we played it we just used extra dice tokens as counters to trade them in to sort of add your dice value together. So it gives you that little bit of manipulation with the dice, and that's a technique that they might need to learn for some other games in the future.
Snakes and ladders is just, let's face it, it's random. You're rolling one dice, you're moving that. If it lands on a ladder, brilliant. If it lands on a snake, disaster. At least by having the choice in this game, you've got some control over that randomness, and there is an element of giving up jelly beans to combine the results to then go on to get more jelly beans, and sometimes even deliberately landing on a snake to go down to get to a bounty of jelly beans or repeat a more successful part of the board. So it does feel much more tactical. And the tactics kind of extends very much to the penguin pairs that we played.
I think penguin pairs might be my favourite. The artwork I just think is great, and obviously you can play these games with whichever sort of counters and things that you have at hand. If you don't have jelly beans like us, we used some dice. We actually used penguins from Hey That's My Fish. And it's interesting because normally you would think that kind of game is just a race to the finish, a race to get your penguins to be together. But in actual fact, you really have to think about where your opponent is, how many fish they've got, and it ends up being a fish gathering race before you can get to a finish point. Otherwise, if you just meet them too early, you will lose because your opponent is likely to have more fish than you.
Yeah, it's working out kind of optimal strategy with what you have. It's never worth just racing to get together.
No.
And strategy very much extends to the plastic game that we played.
Yes, particularly.
So that's a solo play. You could play it kind of cooperatively and discuss moves, but it's essentially a solo play. And with a really strong, obviously, moral message there. As the game progresses, you get an almost unmanageable amount of plastic floating around on your board. Again, we use dice to simulate the plastic. So then it really is a case of working out where things are going to go, inevitability of things, and kind of predicting the flow of the plastic to maximise your netting, your picking up of the plastic. And it's a real brain burner.
Yeah. I mean, where you choose to put that net, you really have to think about how am I going to collect the most off in order that I'm not then taking off less that I'm going to be putting back on again each round.
And a bit like Plastic Currents, Who Ordered the Cherry Cake and Nourish are slightly more complicated games that are for maybe an older audience. They are introduction into kind of logic puzzles where you've got to study an image and then work out the clues there.
There's a lot of those riddle and escape room games out there, so for someone who hasn't done any of those before, it might be a nice introduction into that world, and if they enjoy this, then they can... There's lots of other further steps in the board game world that they can take. So that was real fun.
Yeah, so it's quite a diverse selection of games that are available. I think I agree with you. I think my favourite one was the penguin pairs, and we've actually scanned that in and blown it up to a bigger board so we can play. We've tried playing it with more player count, which makes it really quite interesting. And it's a great way of introducing children to strategy and, working out long-term goals rather than just the normal roll a dice, move. Really does feel like a nice step up. And an entryway into larger, more complicated games. And yeah, I think we're going to be doling out a lot of these roll and colour as just standard kind of birthday cards, anniversary cards, event cards, because it's, as we said in the previous video, it's just a nice thing to send.
You've got that little added value to a card. It seems that lot more thoughtful, and you get to do, not only do you get to then put up the card that looks beautiful as they always do, but you've got that extra step of something within that, so it seems like an extra gift when it is a card.
And these are high quality productions. They're not thin bits of paper, they're really thick, lovely finished cards that come with an envelope, and all the instructions are on the back of the card, so it's not a case of you have little bits of paper that you could potentially lose or not include when you send the card. You just have what looks like a nice card. So it's all a nice self-contained package. I think makes another, like you said, a nice bonus gift.
Yes, and I think that the pads with the designs on would be something that I would consider sort of taking away if I'm travelling or something, waiting for a train, waiting for a plane. You could sit there and just sort of fill that in. Yeah,
because you can use, although you have to use 6 different colours, you can use different shading and just have a pencil and work through that. So yeah, we've had a lot of fun with the kind of Dissent cards, and if you're interested in getting hold of a set, there'll be a link below to all of the whole range available on the Dissent website. But if you're new to this channel, we are BoxedMeeples. We make a video about board games at least twice a week, every single week, and we're also available on Twitter and Instagram if you want to chat to us.
We'd love it if you would subscribe and even ring the bell so you get notifications of every video that we put up.
And as always, thanks so much for watching.
See you next time.